Hey guys, what's up? It's me, People25 here, and today I am bringing you my Los Angeles vacation predictions. I'm sorry for not uploading in probably week and a half, 2 weeks. I've been flooded with work for the past 9 days since the 4th of July. It's currently the 14th of July. I worked 8 of those days, and then the other one I was busy all day. I went to some event in the city. So yeah. Sorry about not uploading for a while. Lots happened around me, but I'll probably make content on that next. I'm going to Los Angeles. I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm waking up at 4 a.m. to go to the airport. But you'll get a lot of content from this, I promise. Now, before we start, welcome back. I haven't done a prediction series in a long while, especially since I forgot my Valley Fair in Nickelodeon Universe one. And it's Six Flags New England. Or no, I think Carowinds and Busch Gardens. Tampa was my last one. Never mind that. If you're not familiar with how I do these, I briefly cover each coaster that I'll ride, one by one, this time in alphabetical order, and give a general prediction of what I think of the ride. And I've also added a broad rating, like, do I think it'll be positive, overall positive, negative, very positive? A lot of them are going to be positive, I'll tell you that. Or overall positive. There are 24 coasters I'll cover at 3 parks, at Six Flags Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, and Universal Studios Hollywood, with a lopsided proportion in each. Six Flags Magic Mountain representing 15, Knott's Berry Farm with 8, and Universal Studios Hollywood with 1. This will be a long one. It'll all be worth it, though. I'm leaving for the trip this Saturday, tomorrow, July 15th, and I'll be coming back next Saturday, very early in the morning, and the next time I'll be able to upload possibly could be the 23rd of July, if I even upload. Also, good news. Finally upgraded my phone. I can now record in 1080p, 60 FPS, and I get some Great America off rides. I also got a very special video that I'm in the process of editing because I know how to cut and clip and merge in iMovie, and like the very basic stuff. Just need to move my setup downstairs in order to use it, because my stuff linked to that other computer, which is a better updated version than this one. But with that all the way, let's get right into this. Apocalypse is the very first coaster. We're starting with Magic Mountain. I've heard mixed reviews of this GCI. I've heard it have a good track record. I have a good track record with GCIs this year. I've ridden Renegade and Mystic Timbers. I really liked both of them. They're both top 25. Mystic Timbers is top 15 for me. And I don't think this one will be any different. I did hear that it was retracked a little bit over the summer, so it's a better ride than what it used to be. I've heard people call it one of the weaker GCIs, but it's still a GCI. This thing should be fantastic. I think I'll really like this thing. I'll probably be worse than Renegade and Mystic Timbers. I've looked at the layout. It's not really as airtime packed as say Renegade, and I think it'll compete with my broad memory of American Thunder. So yeah. Moving on, we got Batman the Ride. No different from the other ones, and I've been on 4 other Batman the Ride clones at this point. Great America, Over Georgia, St. Louis, and Fiesta, Texas. All Six Flags parks. And I think this one is in the middle of the pack. And this one's a unique rating. I got predictively positives because they're all Batman clones. I've been on this before. We're doing it again. So it's going to be positive because the other ones are positive. Unless this one is absolutely awful. But this is one of the newer ones. If anything, great. St. Louis is my worst one because it's a bit jerkier. I don't know. Full Throttle. I think this is an attraction that a lot of people rave about, but a lot of people can be underwhelmed by this thing. I think this is just one of those fun coasters. That's my projection of it. It's not going to be any sort of quality ride. It's not going to be quality, but it's going to be really fun. Got one of the largest loop in North America. The Chinese stole it from us a year ago. 80-mile-an-hour launch and dual-sided track that goes into a loop and over the loop. So it's a fantastic thing there. I know the lack of a drop. I know that there's kind of like a mid-course break around the backwards launch and forwards launch. Like the ride's kind of short, and it's just kind of quick. I mean, I think this thing would just be fun. I'm not sure how else will rank, but I'm setting my bars moderately high on this one. It'd probably just be one of those fun rides. Gold Rusher. Now, 3 good coasters, we start sifting to the crap. Yeah, we got Gold Rusher, Aero Mine Train. Jerky, slow, bad paced, pretty boring. I mean, looking at that layout and that photo I got there, it looks like a lift hill and looks like a turn with a slight drop. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna ride this for the +1 of review and move on about this thing. And I don't expect that review to be positive. So I'm going with a negative rating on this one. Next up we got Goliath. Like Apocalypse, I've heard many mixed reviews of this coaster. I've heard it range from all scales of intensity, blackout to forceless, especially on that back half. The mid-course brake run kills everything, kills all your speed, and then you get like a chunk of it back. I think this thing will be able to compete with Wild Thing, which is currently the bottom of the bar hyper, except for Magnum, which is rough as hell. But I think it'll fall short of every other hyper I've ridden, which is like Superman Ride of Steel and above. So yeah, I think this thing will overall be just a positive rating, but I think it's faulted. I was gonna say like overall positive on this thing, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna think of this thing just because it's gonna be like another one of those faulted hypers, but it's gonna be still a relatively fun ride. Now we got Green Lantern First Flight. Now, this coaster is a doozy because I've heard all sorts of things about this coaster. From the worst coaster ever, to better than X2, to even top 10 in the park. And I think that this thing will just set me off because I have no idea what I'm getting into with this one. Like, never been on an Intamin Zaxpin, and I've heard everything about them. Like, I've heard all scales of ratings about them, and this is the only one in America, if I remember correctly. So this one's just gonna be like I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm really gonna like this one. So I'm just gonna say most likely negative for my projected rating, but I hope I'll be surprised by this thing. It's all free rotation if I remember correctly. No, and well X2's forced, and the free spins are forced and free. It's like highlighted those two. It's just I'm not sure. Like, this thing's just gonna be weird. Moving on, we got New Revolution. A joy to ride a classic. It's always is. Just may not have the forces or the layout, but the historical significance and just the fact that I'm riding the first ever loop on a coaster, or at least in modern history, it's just an unforgettable experience. It's gonna be another classic coaster under my belt. I'm getting two rare credits in this thing. Two notable rare credits in this. Both from Schwarzkopf. Like, I think this thing, I will find it fun. I'll probably compete with some of the family rides or like other Schwarzkopf loopers like Super Duper Looper, especially. Don't think it'll compete with Scorpion. I think this thing will still overall be a positive experience. Ninja, we got a suspended coaster. I've heard all sorts of things about this. Most of them are just positive. It's a fun ride. I've heard it's between Iron Dragon, the Bat. Like the Bat's more aggressive, but it's nowhere near Iron Dragon levels of slow. I think it'll be fun, but it'll fall just short of the Bat, which is my current favorite suspended coaster. Considering this is the Iron Dragon and Bat are the only ones I've ever ridden. Projected rating, I think it'll give me overall positive. I think I'm gonna like this thing. Riddler's Revenge. Most likely be the best stand-up coaster I've ever ridden, no doubt about it. Just my only concern is going through such a complex layout while standing. Like, I've only been on 2 inversion models. Iron Wolf, well, Apocalypse once, which is basically Iron Wolf. Georgia Scorcher, which is currently my favorite, and Vortex of Carowinds. I think it'll still be a really good ride, though. Just, that layout looks intimidating, just to do all standing up. Like, I did not like Mantis at all, but I didn't know how to properly ride Mantis when I was young. I don't know. This thing's incredibly bizarre. Let's just see how it goes. We'll play this one by ear. The last time I looked at the website, it said it was temporarily closed, so who knows? I might even miss the credit. I really hope I don't, but just be prepared. Scream. We got this one. I think this will be on par with Kumba for sit-down / floor coasters. It's a trade-off between smoothness and intensity. I've heard people call Scream a pretty bad coaster. No theming, sits in a parking lot, it's a headbanger. But I think I'll still like this thing. I mean, my current favorite floorless is Superman Krypton coaster, without a doubt. This one is one of the few 7 inversion models. I'm not sure. Like, I'm just gonna play this one by ear as well. I think Scream's gonna be a good ride, but I don't think it's gonna be anything that just blows me away. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like that. Superman Escape from Krypton. Um, Nothing but fun, honestly. This thing just, it all does is go really fast, go really tall, really high, and just go backwards up a spike, fall down forward. It'll be top 5 at the park. I think it'll be a fun ride, but it won't break top 10. Probably won't break some of the quality rides in top 20, possibly. Like, I don't, I mean, it could be top 20, like low top 20, but I don't think it'll break quality rides in top 15. It's just gonna be a fun ride. That's all it's gonna be. But I still think it's gonna be a positive review for this thing. Tatsu. It'll be better than any flying coaster I've ever ridden, considering I've only been on Superman clones and all 3 Dutchmen. Just nothing short of excellence is what I expect from Tatsu. I expect a lot from this coaster. I think it'll be incredibly fun, this ride. 4 inversions, and extremely forceful pretzel loop. I think this thing is going to be amazing, and I think it's the first coaster in this list out of a few that will get the very positive rating. I think this thing is going to be fantastic. Twisted Colossus, the second coaster to get a very positive rating. Almost everyone in the park says this is, or almost everyone who comes here says this is the best ride of the park, and I will most likely agree with it. If I get a racing ride, this one will probably be like infinitely better, but I don't count on getting a racing ride. I'm not expecting a racing ride. I'm expecting just experiencing the ride on a single circuit. I mean, if I do get a racing ride, I'm going to be surprised. It'll probably be a hell of a lot better than if I get just a single ride. But I still expect quite a bit from this ride. I think it'll compete with Goliath, but it won't be like Wicked Cyclone, or it won't beat Iron Rattler, because those are quality rides without some sort of gimmick. So yeah. Viper! I think this thing is gonna, like, the next 2 rides are gonna have a lot of smack talk to this. This one, this Aero Mega Coaster, Mega Looper, the only one of its kind remaining. Now, I remember when I was young, I thought this thing would just blow me out of the water. Like, I saw this thing on, like, the websites when I was very young, just getting in the coasters, and this thing, I thought it was going to be amazing, not knowing that it'd be just like Demon, which was okay at the time, but got worse as I got older, because I knew how bad it was. And I've heard nothing but bad things about this ride. Like, I've really never heard a person say that they like Viper. It's just bad. I fully expect a bad ride on this thing. I've heard, even my brother has ridden this one. He's been to Magic Mountain before, ridden most of the coasters here. He said Viper was absolutely terrible. And especially, I'm a tall person, so I expect my neck to be jostled more. And if it thinks anything like Vortex at Kings Island, but if it's any worse than that, it's probably bottom 15. Possibly bottom 10. I'm expecting this thing to be in triple digits placing. So, yeah. This is not going to be a pleasant ride. Next up, we have X2. I'll say it right up front, I don't think I'm going to like this thing. I got some practice with 40 seats with Joker opening up this year at Great America, but this thing will be rougher, longer, and will have more choppy rotations of the seats. Now, I've heard the flips aren't going to be that smooth, and I honestly expect a bad ride into this. I hope to be blown out of my seat, though. I really hope that I will like this thing more than other people. I just got to make sure to sit in the inner seat. Like, I've had practice with aggressive flips and free spins and all that. I hope I like this thing, but I'm not sure. I'm going to sit in the inside seat. I promise you that. If I sit in the outside seat, that's basically just setting myself up for bias. Like, this is one of the most heavily debated coasters in the entire community, and I finally get to put in my say with experience. My brother does not like this thing, but I think I will. Or I will not. I'm not sure, but I think I won't like it. That's my prediction. Keep in mind, it's just a prediction. I will ride it sometime next week. Don't have an exact day, but it's saying nothing but sunny, so we can probably go any day. So yeah, I'll be sure to ride this thing, if it even opens. Now moving on to Universal Studios Hollywood, I think we're just going to Universal Studios Hollywood because the younger children, my younger brother and one of my younger cousins that I'm going with, wanted to go to Universal Studios, and I'm like, okay, I'll come for the +1. And here I am with Revenge of the Mummy. I just have to predict this lone credit here. Fun family launch coaster, really well themed, and probably most likely be better than any of the. What is autocorrect doing with that one? Mistier. Okay, moving on with that. He'll probably compete with like Laugh Track, Backlot Stunt Coaster, and Cobra's Curse. They'll probably be along the lines of that. This thing's like only a 40-mile-an-hour launch. It's got good theming, some good gimmicks with it, but I'm not sure if I'm exactly gonna be absolutely impressed with this thing. I expect this thing to be a good mid-ground coaster. So I'm going to say overall positive on this one. Now moving on to Knott, we got our last 8 coasters. First starting up with Coast Rider. Now this Mack Wild Mouse used to be good until an incident occurred. I forget the details, but that basically resulted in there being shin guards on the ride. And those shin guards alone will probably kill the ride for me. I am a 6'1" tall man at only 16 years old. I might not even be able to fit into the ride. Who knows, I might walk out with only plus 23 on this thing. Just because I can't ride this thing because I don't fit. I've never been kicked off a ride because I don't fit. I've been crammed at times like Pepsi Orange Streak and some mine trains. I'm really crammed into the cars, but I still fit. My knees are up against the seat. But I still fit. I don't know. And I've heard that, looking at the layout as well, it does not look like the hairpin turns aren't as compact. So the hairpin turns will probably not be as impressive as some of the other ones. I do like there will be a drop after the lift hill, so you have something before the switchbacks, which is fine. Like projected rating, negative, if I even fit in the restraints. So yeah. Moving on with Ghost Rider. Now, if this were the CCI predecessor before the GCI retrack, I would have had completely different thoughts on this ride. However, this is a GCI track coaster with a CCI layout, and this is going to be good. I can fully expect this thing to be my second favorite or third favorite of the park, depending on how I like Silver Bullet. I think Accelerator will be number 1, followed by Ghost Rider at number 2, and Silver Bullet at number 3 is my final prediction. So I've heard Silver Bullet's one of the weaker inverts, but we'll get to that when we get to Silver Bullet. So, yeah. Positive rating on this thing. I have a lot of expectations, and I hope to be blown away with this thing. This thing's going to be fantastic. Jaguar. Now, this Zero coaster, I'm not sure if it would have counted as a credit, or at least a viable credit where I can rank it, until I rode Pepsi Orange Streak, a very similar coaster, just indoors. I expect a lot of things to be similar between this and Pepsi Orange Streak. I almost abbreviated it as Pepsi Orange Streak, which is basically POS, but that's not safe for work for the abbreviation. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep it Orange Streak or Pepsi Orange Streak. Yeah. My rating is going to be more or less positive. I liked Pepsi Orange Streak. I think it was it's like a solid 5 out of 10 coaster. Just not sure. Like, this thing's probably going to be very similar. And it's got those ridiculously long trains as well. I always laugh seeing how long they are. Moving on now. We got Montezumas Revenge. This will most likely be the only shuttle route I'll ever have the joy to ride. And I will take this credit with glee. I will love this thing. Just because it's a classic. It's a rare credit. And probably one of my most anticipated credits in the ride. Just because it's so rare. And the ride was really good too. Just be a fun ride. Won't be anything too quality, but it's a classic ride, classic credit, rare credit, and just overall I think will be amazing. I have some good expectations for this ride. I just think it'll be overall positive. I'm probably gonna put it along like probably one of the mid part of my list. So yeah. Moving on, we got Pony Express. Following classic credit is a rather large question mark on the trip. Whether or not it's either going to be open, closed, if I'm going to like it, or not. Pony Express is the first ever moto coaster I'll be on. And I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to like it. I'm a tall man being strapped into like a pony, like a horseback restraint, just going over a slightly small layout. It's a credit for me. I've looked at it. It's a credit. It's 40 miles an hour as well. It's a credit. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. I think it's going to be negative considering my size in the restraints, but I hope it's more comfortable than I anticipated, and I can put it as a mid-ranking coaster. So yeah. Moving on, we got Sierra Sidewinder, my first ever Mack spinner. And this one will be fun. I've been on Mauer spinners with Laugh Track. I've been on a lot of Gerstlauer spinners with all the Pandemonium models. And this will be my first ever Mack spinner. It may be in Planet Snoopy or Camp Snoopy or whatever it's called, but I think it's a credit. Just be another guilty pleasure ride. I think I'm going to like this thing. It's going to be a little fun ride. Just want to see how much it spins compared to the Pandemonium models. It'll be smoother than the Pandemonium models, I'll say that. But it's going to be, I'm not sure if it's going to spin as much as some of them. So yeah. I'm going to say the rating's overall positive on this one. I'm going to like it. And now we're going to end off with 2 home run coasters. First up, we got Silver Bullet. And I'm quite excited to ride this. It stands large and imposing right at the very front of the park once you get in. You see that massive Cobra roll. But I just heard it's one of the weaker inverts out there. I'd look at the layout. I heard it's kind of one of those forceless inverts, but it's bigger than coasters like Batman and Great Bear. So I really got to try it out in a few places. I got to get a few rides and a few seats just to see how it is. I still think I'm going to really like this thing, but just anyone gotten any advice who's ridden Silver Bullet? Like, how is it? It's the only coaster I've asked for advice like this because I really want to like this thing. I think Ghost Rider will still be better than this. But I've looked at the layout. I think that half zero G roll or corkscrew is going to be amazing. It just kicks to the side for like a little bit. And that's a fun part because I've never been anything like it. So I think I'm going to like it. Overall rating positive. And Accelerator. Yeah, I said at the beginning of the year that this thing, I promised myself at the beginning of the year that if there's any coaster that will seat itself in the top 10 this year, it will be this one. I currently have Raging Bull at Great America at 10th, and Stormrunner at Hershey Park at 9th. I can easily see this thing taking over the 9th spot, and if I like it so much, possibly the 8th, which is currently held by Intimidator at Carowinds. I think this thing's going to be fantastic. The catapult launch is going to be extremely forceful. The fact that there's extra after the drop is a fantastic addition. It's going to be comparable to Stormrunner, but probably a heck of a lot more forceful. And probably smoother as well, because I believe this thing has lap bars. So I think I'm really going to like this thing. So this will be the 3rd coaster on the list, and the final coaster that will get a very positive rating. So according to my predictions, my favorite coasters of the park or this trip will be Tatsu, Twisted Colossus, and Accelerator, with some possible upsets being with Ghost Rider. So yeah, I'll probably compile a list. Possibly, hold up, I gotta press escape. My bad about that. So yeah, let's just say that's been my final predictions. This has been a really long video. I warned you at the very first slide. If you guys have enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, comment, or a subscription. It helps me out, even though I don't make anything from this. I just tell you otherwise because I feel good. And I hope you guys have a great insert unit of time here because, I cannot tell you what to do. And as always,